guys. We are coming back at you with a video recap of PoshFest. So we just uploaded, actually yesterday, our PoshFest video to Nashville with all the clips. But we wanted to actually take some time and give our personal feedback, as this was our first PoshFest, but definitely not our first business conference. Jackie totaled it up.
In the past 5 years, I believe we've gone to at least 15 different business conferences.
Yep, and as far
we had 4 a year.
Yep.
Since 2020, but we did
Yep.
attend one in 2019. So.
Yep, as far west coast as Tacoma and as far east as Fort Lauderdale. So
that's not even counting all the mini ones we've gone to.
Yeah, we've been.
Those are just the major events we've gone to.
Yeah, like multi-day functions, kind of like PoshFest was. So for us, I got to say we loved it. We'd never been to Nashville. Nashville as a city was great. I really appreciated the city being, it was a touch of modern and a touch of old. I'm a big country music fan, specifically old country music, so a lot of history. So taking the city for me was fantastic. But PoshFest as a business conference, I really enjoyed. I think it was unlike any business conference I've ever attended. It's laid out differently, but I got a lot out of it, and it was more dynamic. Most times, it would be like if we'd attend something, you're in your notes for 8 hours a day. This wasn't like that. It was more heavily focused on building relationships and networking, and it was different in a good way. I really appreciated that, but I did learn a lot. There was a denim upcycling breakout session I attended that was put on by Ray Runlove, and I learned a lot from that, especially doing denim and vintage shows. I've got a pile of denim that is flawed to the point where I can't sell it, but I would love to figure out how to upcycle it, and she gave me some really good ideas there. I know Jackie probably talked about a mentorship session she attended, a couple Q&As we attended we really enjoyed. They provided breakfast and lunch both days. We got to meet some of our favorite people that we've only known virtually for the last year plus, like Andrea, like Britton and Chelsea, like Kenzie, Kelsey. I'm sure Jackie's going to talk about them more, so I'm just going to touch on that. We really appreciated meeting them. They are genuine human beings, not just what you see in live shows and behind the camera. They are fantastic people, and they were so nice to us, and just A+ human beings in our opinion. But Poshmark, I know there's a lot of debate on, $300 a ticket, are you getting the value? For me personally, if you look at we got $300 in value just in the free stuff for attending. We got $200 Coachtopia bags, Rothy's, a pair of Rothy's that was worth, I think
those ones were worth $119, or retailed $119, and then I think my flats were like $149, $139.
So there's $300 right there, plus 4 meals, plus at the Posh party, they fed us again and gave us free drinks. So that in itself, but really the way I look at it is it depends. If you've just started a Poshmark closet, you just started reselling. If you don't have goals, you should set some. But what are your goals? Do you just want to make an extra $100 a month? Well, you might not really get the value out of Poshmark or PoshFest. It's fun. You'll have fun there, but I don't know what your goal is. If you want to take your business seriously, I would say, if you're just above, if you're at serious hobby level and above, it's really worth it, I think. You got to hear from people who have, almost made 7 figures in sales on Poshmark, down to people were there that had just started a closet 6 months ago that wanted to really give this a go, and everybody in between. So, and to learn from those people, see what their mindset is, see what they're doing and what they're not doing. I think it was really worthwhile if you are serious about investing in yourself and investing in your business and your business's success. The takeaways and the mindset and the atmosphere from PoshFest, we can now take home and implement in our personal lives and our business. You know, we realized we needed to get serious about some things that we hadn't been, as far as having a clear-cut business plan, setting some realistic goals, which is all, you know, silly stuff that we should have done, that we've done in other businesses that we've been a part of, but just hadn't really done for this. But yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to Jackie now, and because I know I'm just kind of glossing over some things I know you want to get into a little bit more. So, dear.
Yeah. So to go in on like the value of everything that we got. So like he's wearing, just dripped on himself.
Whoops. Oh well.
He's wearing his hat that he made. I think mine's in the car. So like I was looking, they had the forms because the people that they brought in to do these hats for us. They do these in all different kinds of events. Like they said that they did the CMA festival.
I think so. Yeah.
So like they do big events like this, and they had their forms that you typically would fill out, like if you were at any other event, paying for it yourself. And the hat itself, just the hat, was $25, and then it was like, I think it was like $10 for a set amount of patches, and then it was like if you wanted any pins or any other add-ons, like I think the pins were $5, and then I think like the rope you could get was an extra $5. So you're looking at like, his hat would have been $35.
I went pretty basic, just with 2 patches, but I mean, I think they allowed what, up to 3?
Up to 3 patches. Poshmark provided some patches as well, so it's 3 of their patches, but you could get extras of the Poshmark patches as well. And then you could do 2 pins, I believe.
I think so.
And then a rope, or like my rope was actually like rhinestones.
Yeah.
So you're looking at like my hat with the rhinestones and the patches would have been, I think, like a $40 hat. And then so I mean we were all going kind of like crazy getting our hats, and Poshmark obviously they paid for all of that.
Yeah.
So and then the shirts, we also got some screen printed shirts.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool. I have no idea how much those would have cost if we would have had to pay for them ourselves, but those were really nice. So I just like they had so many like goodies and giveaways. And then of course you got like the sponsor booths too, and they had their own booth set up where we were able to, you know, win some free goodies too.
It might sound silly, but one of my favorite things we got the whole weekend are these. They are Poshmark measuring tapes. I like them because they've got this metal piece, so it folds back onto itself. So when your toddler grabs your measuring tape, it doesn't get unraveled all the time. So I took like 3 of these.
Sometimes take long to figure out how to pull that off, but yeah. So there was just so much stuff to like do there, and like I was saying, like we went into it with that same mindset of all of our other business conferences.
Yeah.
That we were like, oh, we forgot to pack a notebook and pen, like. I guess we'll use. We got these little notebooks. So I was like, I guess we'll have to use these. They're kind of small, but we'll make them work. And then within like 20 minutes, I was like, okay, we don't really need a notebook and a pen, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Like
I took 3 notes on my phone, on the note section of my phone, just to jot down some specifics so I could circle back later. But that was really it the whole weekend.
Yeah. So and it was really nice. And I will say, I know Clay was saying if you're more of just like doing this as a hobby, it may not be worth going for you, but I would say it's worth going for anybody who just wants that networking. I mean, there were people that we followed, whether it be like on Instagram or Poshmark and all that, where I was kind of more like silently following, because I have this problem with like imposter syndrome, where when I'm watching all of these other women who are, and I say women because mainly who I'm following and getting my like silent mentorship from are women. I see how like successful they are, and I'm like, okay, that's what I'm striving for. But as I'm working towards it, I feel like I don't know, it's something we're working through. But so like I never would comment on their post, or I would never like message them or do anything like that, because I feel like that imposter syndrome kicks in, and then you feel like you're like annoying them, or like they don't really want you to reach out, or they don't want you to comment. Like I don't know. That's just how I felt beforehand. But now after, like, getting to meet all of these people in person, so, like, we got to meet Jen from Jen's Addiction, Kenzie, who is Kenzie Shea, I forgot who all you mentioned.
I didn't mention Chanel, but I know you
Oh
were
yeah,
excited
Chanel.
to meet her.
She's Chanel's Closet.
Yep.
Like all of those people, and obviously everybody that he mentioned as well, like Andrea and all. I mean, I've Andrea's probably one of the few that I actually did talk to, just because I realized I have been watching her live shows for it'll be 2 years this October that I started watching Andrea. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like then getting to meet them in person and being finally pushing past my comfort zone and being like, okay, I have to say hi because like I follow these people. I would like to say hi even if they have no idea who in the world I am. So I did. So I went up and like introduced myself and was like, I've been watching you guys for like a while and I love all the stuff that you do and I've been getting so much like silent advice from you guys. And now they're like commenting on my stuff like on Instagram and all that, and it like I fangirl every time they do because I'm like, this is so incredible. Like they're commenting on my stuff. And so I would say just for that aspect of it, to like, even if you don't want to turn your business into like, or you're reselling into a full-time business and you're just doing it for fun. There were a couple of people at, so I went to Jen's mentorship roundtable, and there was a woman at that where she's like, I just do this for fun because I like to do it. Like, and I'm just here because I heard PoshFest is fun and I wanted to experience it myself. So you just want to have fun and you want to meet some of the other people that are in the community. Like, it's a good way to do that. Yeah. And with all of the fun and freebies they give you, like, it makes up for it. It is worth the investment. Yeah. So I forgot where I was going with all that because I kind of got sidetracked. But so circling back, so how many times can I say so? Yeah, so we'll see. It's because my brain's trying to catch back up to where
you guys are getting the uncut version of Jackie and I.
I'm trying to remember what I was going to say.
We thought we were all sophisticated, rolling out the rocking chairs.
I just didn't want to stand.
Yeah.
He set us up in the living room. I'm like, I'm not standing. We're going to bring some chairs over. I want to sit.
This is all last night's show. Still, we haven't put that away. So.
But anyway, yeah. So day one, we had the agenda out. I realized we were the only ones with our agenda out. Yeah. I kept looking around, and I'm like, nobody else has their agenda. Yeah. Like, I'm like, what's going on? And I think it's because all the other business conferences we attended to, we'd always have the agenda in front of us so we could kind of see what speakers were up next. Yep. And so we went to, obviously, the State of the Union, and then immediately following that, I think that was lunch. Immediately following that was lunch. We hit up the hat line the first time. Somebody ended up stealing those hats, so we didn't get those hats, which worked out for me. He almost has the same exact hat. This patch is just different. His first one said American made. Mine is completely different because I wanted a camo hat, and they did not have the camo hats besides the blaze orange the second day. So yeah, mine's completely different. But yeah, so we went to lunch, and then immediately following lunch, we attended the Thrill of the Thrift. Cannot say that fast, apparently. Breakout session, and that was really good. So, I know, and I apologize. I know Repeat Wears is on Instagram, and that might be her closet name as well. Was one of the speakers. And then I know the other girl's name was Miranda, and I apologize that I don't. We'll make sure to tag or list everybody. Well, I started following everybody on Instagram. Every speaker I went and followed on Instagram. So I can't remember her full name. Yeah. So they talked about how to like make thrifting more interesting and fun for people who like aren't a huge fan of doing that, but obviously that's kind of. If you're not gonna get into like pallets and stuff like that, thrifting's obviously how you kind of gotta find your inventory besides like raw materials and stuff like that. But anyway,
and we do everything. So we want to learn every single way. If there's a better way to thrift, if there's a better way to source in bulk, that's what we do it all. Yeah. So it was really fun to attend that session. And then they also had somebody from the Poshmark team that was kind of like the moderator for it, who she also has a closet and she thrifts, and I apologize because I can't remember her name, even though we talked to her like Twice. Yeah.
I can picture her. If I find a picture of her, we can, yeah. But she was super sweet and super nice. So we had one of the questions that was asked in that I wanted to talk about was, with the rising cost of thrift stores, how do you still run your business to be profitable when it's difficult now that prices are increasing? And one of the things that they said that I really liked was they talked about how, unfortunately, because of the rising cost of things, you do have to start looking at your business and your business model and saying, okay, what item is more important? How do you choose which items to take? And at that point, it's got to be at quality over quantity when prices are. And one of the things we talked about that I was like, we don't do, and I've actually started seeing a lot of successful resellers who do this, and I think we do need to start doing it, is setting a budget, whether it's be a budget for the trip, a budget for the month, a budget, whatever it be, because we just kind of go in and we buy whatever we want, which hasn't been bad for us.
Yeah.
But
if you guys have watched any of our Come Thrift With Me videos,
we fill a shopping cart.
Yeah. Well, on my Mondays when I go during my lunch hour, it's a lunch hour. I'm racing against the clock, so I'm just grabbing stuff.
But when we go on the weekends So I did agree with that, and two, I do think quality over quantity is important as well, because part of it is, I think when we first started, we thought quantity. You need a bunch of stuff in your closet. We thought you had to have over 1,000 active items in your closet in order to be successful in Poshmark. Yeah. That is why my inventory is insane right now, because we've got over 1,000 active. We probably, between the two closets, we've probably got 2,000 active items. And that's not even including what's not listed. So It's insane. We're trying to get rid of it. And I know they talked about redonating stuff and being okay with the fact that something didn't work out. I'm a little bit, I don't know what the word is. I have a hard time with that. We probably should redonate some of the stuff and just count it as a loss. But I'm determined to sell some of that first stuff that I thrifted. As you know from my Gloria Vanderbilt jeans and my listing thoughts with Jackie.
She bought Gloria Vanderbilt jeans. No, that's not to say I haven't.
I looked them up. They retailed for like $80. I was like, oh yeah.
I haven't made the best choices, especially when I was new thrifting, but I still like to joke about that one.
Yeah. So we really appreciated that breakout session, and I think right around after we went to that one is kind of when we realized, like, okay, people aren't really focused on attending these breakouts. So maybe we just we just look at like networking versus attending these breakout sessions.
Which we did more of that the second day, because we realized that after the first day.
Yeah, so then the first day I can't remember what we did. There were 3 breakout sessions, but I don't remember them all, if I'm being completely honest. I think we were too late to go to the one.
So I did the denim upcycling session. That was day 1. And then we did the interview and headshot breakout session. Yeah.
Yeah, which that was really cool. That's another thing. Like, if you did that, you got a professional headshot done for you, edited and everything. And then they took clips of you kind of expressing your story a little bit. I don't know what they're going to do with them. I don't know if they're going to use everybody's. I'm patiently waiting to see.
So they explained to me that basically they're banking them, for lack of a better term. And when Poshmark needs like content for news media, they can pull from that to use as clips to.
I knew they were planned on using it as like advertisement, but I didn't know
for reselling and for Poshmark. The whole reselling community. So basically, that just was added to their library of content they can use.
Which obviously you, by agreeing to go to that, you agreed for them to use it. But yeah, that was really cool. So then day 2, we were like, okay, we'll go to, obviously we attended the hackathon because you want to be the first to know about new features coming out. Which I know in our video that we just posted kind of listed them all out. And then we were just like, okay, let's just focus. Let's not worry about, we looked at what breakout blocks were the second day. The one I obviously really wanted to attend was Jen's mentorship roundtable. She talked about going from part-time to full-time in reselling. And her biggest thing is they've always done pallets. So that was really I wanted to do that too because Clay and I have talked about getting into pallets.
Yeah, that's the one thing we haven't really broken into.
Didn't really know where to begin, where to start, and she, bless this woman, she gave us all, if she didn't have enough paper handouts, she emailed or sent over to anybody who didn't get a paper handout, like, all of her thoughts on it and, like, what you should know about getting into doing pallets and all that, and I've looked it over multiple times since getting that, and it's a lot of good information. She also broke down, like, what tools she used. So, like, Reseller Genie, we are probably going to be sitting down here shortly to go look over that because that sounds like it's something that we need to be using.
Yeah.
I thought it was another cross-listing service. And I'm like, well, I really like Vendoo. I'm not switching from Vendoo.
Yeah.
But I realize it's not. It's an accounting software, which makes way more sense. And I was like, okay. And part of me's like, well, if Jen's using it, we gotta use it. But, so like, that was really great.
Yeah.
And then I don't even remember what happened the rest of the day. By then, my feet were killing me.
Yeah.
I was not wearing good shoes the second day.
So, yeah, after that, we went and got dinner and went back, rested our feet for a little bit, got changed, and then went to the Posh party.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I originally was going to wear a burgundy corduroy Free People jumpsuit, which I got new a tag off of Poshmark for $60. I was so excited about it because I think it retailed for like $198. So yeah, got it off of Poshmark for $60.
And then it was 90 degrees.
And it was 90 degrees because look, I'm notorious for this. I don't plan for the weather I'm going to. I plan for the weather I'm currently in. We were already in fall weather in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, this will be perfect. It was not perfect, and unfortunately the sleeves were a little bit more rigid. So like the whole jumpsuit had stretch except the sleeves. So I tried rolling them up, and they were not comfortable. They were way too tight rolled up. So I looked at him, and I'm like, between my feet and this jumpsuit, which within 10 minutes of stepping outside in it, I was already drenched in sweat. I was like, I cannot attend a party like this. Like, this is not a good look. And I will say, I was warned. Not me personally, but somebody else in their comments saw. Like, I saw it and I was like, oh, okay. They said if you cannot pull off the sweaty, soggy look, make sure you're wearing like cool clothes. But I was like, oh, it'll be fine. But I wasn't expecting. I don't know why I wasn't expecting such a big break in between when PoshFest ended and when the party started. So I thought I'd be okay. But yeah, so yeah, we went back and I ended up with a completely different outfit than I originally planned on wearing. Because yeah, that was not it at all. So I will wear that jumpsuit somewhere. If not, you'll find it. It won't be new a tag anymore, and it'll be worn for 10 minutes up on our closet if I don't decide to keep it. But
so we went back to the Posh party, and we didn't stay for the whole time. We just stayed for an hour because we wanted to get back to the kids. But it was really
and
cool.
Part of it was I was like, I'm exhausted, and we planned on touring Nashville Saturday and going to the zoo on Sunday, and I looked at him and I said, as much as I want to be at this party right now, if I don't rest my feet and if I don't get some good sleep tonight, I'm not going to be able to do this weekend, and I want to be able to make some memories with the kids. So I'm like, we'll go for like an hour or two, but that's probably as much as I can handle.
Yeah, but we had a blast. I guess they had live music, they had food, and everybody got 4 drink tickets, and it was great. We gave half of our drink tickets away because we had a 20-minute drive back to where we were staying.
Well, and that was the other thing why I was like, yeah, I gotta go, because I would have used all 4 of those drink tickets and then I wouldn't have been able to get home. Because I have not, that was not technically my first, because I did have a glass of wine the other day before we had to go on, but that was pretty much my first drink since before I got pregnant. Yeah. So we're talking like almost
over a year.
Yeah, over a year since I've had anything, and these were like mid to top shelf drinks. So I mean, it works fast. So I was like, yeah, that's probably as best as I can do. And
yeah, it wasn't 5 o'clock brand liquors, but no, it was fun. So we spent a little bit more time with Britton and Chelsea and Kelsey, and then we headed home, or headed back to the Verbo. So
but that was, like I said, it was even. I mean, everybody was like, "Oh, why are you leaving so soon?" And I'm like, "Oh, because I'm like, oh, we got to get back to the kids." And they're like, "Well, they're with your parents." It's like, yeah, I know, but I'm like, we just want to, get back. And our 3-year-old, she, especially in places she doesn't know, she was really struggling to want to go to like sleep without us there, which is something relatively new for her. So I was like, if we stay till 11, we're not getting back till like midnight, and she's gonna still be up, and then the next day is gonna be a nightmare. And like I said, if I would have stayed, getting in the car would not have been a fun trip for either one of us.
We would have been pulling over so that Jackie could relieve herself.
Yeah. But and the other thing I will say too is by then my social battery was pretty drained. I am naturally introverted.
If you guys can't tell, I'm the extrovert. She's the introvert.
Yes, I am naturally introverted. So I've done very well with getting better about being out there, not being as shy and as reserved. But my social battery does drain pretty fast, especially in places like that. And so between that and a little bit of like social anxiety, claustrophobia, with how many of us were all packed into one little room, I was like, I don't think I could handle much more of this in that way. But so we did that, and I was someplace else I was going with that, and
that's all right. So I guess to kind of wrap it up then. Again, just to reiterate, we will definitely be back next year, wherever they go, which is rumored somewhere.
A lot of people are requesting Miami.
Yeah.
And some of the people who have gone multiple times, I've heard them say that they would not be surprised if it was Miami next year. So.
But we definitely attend again. Had a blast.
We will not drive.
Yeah, we won't drive that.
Next year, we're either going to
not taking the kids next year.
Not take the kids, or we're going to fly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But again, it was really great to meet everybody that we've made friends with digitally over the last year plus, and to make those connections, those personal connections now. So like Kelsey, who what's the name of her closet again?
Rock My Life.
Yes, that she is out of Ohio. She's the closest reseller to Jackie and I now in mid-Michigan. So like we were talking about, so she does a lot with kids' clothes. We've been sitting on kids' clothes for a year and a half that I got in a Target pallet, kind of pallet, I guess. I bought in bulk. She was giving us some pointers on that, but she was able to give us some contacts for a place in Michigan that does pallets, and Jackie and I were talking about getting into that. While I'm trying to work on my old connections where I got those Target kids clothes so that I can pass it along to her. So to kind of make that connection. So she was super cool, really, really genuine person. Really glad we met her. But the amount of quality time that we got to spend with Britton and Chelsea, that are two of the Live 5. And just great gals. And I know I plugged the Live 5 in our other video, but I'll say it again here. If you are at all considering getting into live shows, especially on Poshmark, check them out. They've got a Patreon. I think it's patreon.com/thelive5, or check them out on the Live 5 resellers on Instagram. And we've learned so much. We looked at successful resellers that did live shows before and thought, well, we don't have the stuff, people that are constantly selling like designer stuff or, higher end clothing all the time, in their live shows. We're in the middle of Michigan, guys. We're 2 hours north of Detroit. We found Lululemon in the wild 3 times ever in the last 2+ years of thrifting. But they taught us that you use what you can, and you build an audience around that. And I'm not saying we're wildly successful in live shows yet, but we're starting to sell clothes in our shows. Something that we didn't think we could do. And they've always been helpful to give us pointers and tweaks. And Britton even popped on to one of Jackie's shows in the early days and gave us a scorecard of just constructive criticism, things you can tweak, things you can turn around. This background is new. Britton actually popped on to my show last night and said she liked it and recommended where I could put a mannequin, to just kind of give it a little bit of extra. When we started the shows, we were in our basement. Now we're in our big bay window is behind us, which brings in some natural light because we're in front of us. So because we're in our living room now, and the color is way better. You know, all the little stuff, the little tweaks that it's nice. Someone that is good at live selling that can look at what you're doing and just say, hey, I might tweak this, or I might change that, or hey, if you brought this in, that might help. So we can't thank them enough, and seriously, you should check them out. So anything else you want to plug, dear?
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, come fall time when it's still not sunny out at 8 o'clock, our bay window's not gonna help us that much.
That's what the 3 photo lights are for. But
yes.
so
yeah, I'm just gonna show off my. So I did get this. This is the one thing that I did. They did have a little swag table where you could purchase things. It was actually really cool. So you went straight into the Posh Fixings closet and you purchased it from there. I'm like, what kind of like smart marketing on their part to still be able to get it in person and pick it right up then, but still use Poshmark to buy things, which is why I think they were like, so there was real quick backstory. There was a question about doing like in-person shopping through Poshmark, and I think, and then they were like, oh yeah, that's definitely something I think we could get behind. That's a good concept. Like we'll have to sit down and kind of talk about it and look it through. And then when they were doing that with the tables, I was like, that would be really smart if they. I mean, obviously it's easier for them to do it because they can go into their systems and mark the order as complete without having to ship it. But so that was really cool. But yeah, so this was the one piece that I did purchase for myself. So it's like this faded, like washed black, like charcoal gray, I don't know, colored hoodie. And then it's got the Poshmark logo there, and then I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
Is it on the screen?
Yeah, it's on the screen.
But yeah, and then it says the PoshFest tour, and then it's just got listed. It lists all of the place, what years they were in what place, and I don't know. It's a nice and comfy hoodie. I've been wearing it a lot. Well, trying to wear it a lot. We're back in 80+ degree weather here in Michigan, so
we brought the Nashville weather home with us.
Yeah, so I haven't really been like right now. I'm like kind of regretting wearing it, but I wanted to show it off. So.
Yeah, but well, all right, guys. We appreciate your time, and I hope you liked our takeaways from PoshFest. We really, really enjoyed it. We're definitely going to do it again next year, and we're just excited to keep growing our closet and our live shows and this YouTube channel along with you guys. So we'll see you next time, and we'll catch you on the next one.